we just reported, the White House turning to a former top Clinton aide now to reboot the second-term agenda for Obama. The administration hiring John Podesta, former chief of staff for President Clinton. Podesta will now be a counselor to President Obama. So as the president tries to recover from the botched Obamacare rollout, the White House also bringing back former top aide Phil Shaliro to head their health care policy efforts. But are they fixing things or ramping up politics? Joining me now, Plante, radio talk show host, and Leslie Marshall, syndicated radio talk show host. Chris, I'm going to let you start today. Which one is it?
Well, clearly these guys are, political hatchet men. It's, Virgil Sollozzo from The Godfather being brought in to rough up the enemies. I mean, these guys are, you'd like to think that the administration would be bringing in people to deal with the issues related to Obamacare and the individual mandate and the corporate mandate and all of the problems with Obamacare, which are too numerous to list here. But what they're obviously looking out for here is their own self-interest and the midterm elections. They brought in two, knife men who are going to go after their enemies, who are going to demonize Republicans, who are going to, turn up the heat here in Washington between the Republicans and the Democrats, but not do anything for us.
But
it's about them, it's not about us.
Speaking of a hatchet, Leslie, whatever happened to somebody getting the axe for all the botched rollout and then all the other problems that we're now seeing with Obamacare? Is no one going to get fired, so you're just going to add employees?
Yeah.
I actually think there will be heads that roll. I think that Jay Carney alluded to that about a week and a half ago. And a lot of Democrats like myself do feel that someone needs to be held accountable. But Chris, Tony Soprano has not been brought in. Sorry to disappoint you there. There are two sides of this, politics and policy. And certainly policy, the original implementation of the plan, a major screw up. That has to be fixed for the sake of not just the legislation, but the American people that are counting on it. But as far as politics, yes, that has to be fixed as well, the messaging. And I think that Democrats have a right to, and I think that the president has a responsibility to Democrats to fight back and to say, here are the good stories, here are the people that did not get kicked out of their insurance plan, are happy with the legislation, and I think that message needs to be heard as well.
The one thing I know is that I hope both these guys have read the health care bill, because it's going to take them a while. It's 3,000 pages.
Chance. Well, nobody's read it.
Yeah, well, that could be, but I hope that they will if they're in charge of trying to figure out how to make it better. All right, I got to move on to this. A Monmouth University Asbury Park press poll released this morning shows, guess how much of the voters in New Jersey, well, they think that Governor Christie's doing a good job. There it is, 65% in a blue state. Chris, are you surprised, and are there any lessons to be learned here for the GOP as they move forward to the next presidential election, or the midterms for that matter?
Honestly, I think Chris Christie is a great governor of the state of New Jersey. He's got some good conservative values that he's bringing to the process up there. He's all about lowering taxes, or at least keeping taxes low and not increasing taxes. He's going after education. Who in New Jersey or any place else doesn't agree that, education needs to be ramped up? It's something of a disaster in this country for a whole range of reasons. And keeping taxes down, more of us keep more of our money. I think that's something that, given where we are right now.
Conservatives don't love him for a variety of reasons. So the question that I asked Chris for you too, Leslie, do conservatives have something to learn with this high approval rating or not?
Well, honestly, I think
Leslie, let me get Leslie in here.
Okay.
I have to say, I've always said that Chris Christie is the one that I am most concerned about, regardless of who is on that platform with a D on their chest. And the reason why is that we saw with Mitt Romney, even though he was a Mormon, and even though a lot of the more Christian conservatives, the evangelical conservatives in the Republican Party didn't favor him, when push came to shove at the end of the day, you have a Democrat, you have a Republican, they'll put their support to, I believe, Chris Christie, as moderate as he is. But I do think that he has great appeal in New Jersey, obviously, and he should. He was just reelected with a landslide. Yeah. I'm not sure that's going to transcend on a national level, but he does have, I think he'll pull some Democratic votes and independent votes, which are key. I think he'll have some problem with the gay vote, which is a very a vast growing political force in America.
Yeah, and it's all about the beginning of the race called the primaries as well. I got to wrap it up there. Chris and Leslie, have a fantastic day. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Gretchen.
You too.